All right, let's go ahead and dive in. Go ahead, come to standing. See if you can have a non-slippery surface. So whether that's tennis shoes if you need just to have that grip, whether it's bare feet on a wood floor, whether it's a sticky mat. Again, we just want to have that traction because that's where we're going to get the most feedback and the most lengthening and support. Let me pin this. Okay. Okay, so coming to standing, we're going to do right foot forward, left foot back. You can always use a wall, okay? You can always use a wall for this. You can also, for example, have a chair by your side if you need extra balance support. You can always hold on. You can hold on to a wall like such, okay? But we are gonna actually do right foot forward and it's gonna go partially up the wall. Okay, so let me actually just demonstrate this. So helpful. Okay, so we're gonna use the wall board and just have that ankle up. If you don't have a good wall space, you can always use a prop like a block. But most stable is gonna be that wall. Okay. So I love this pose, okay? It balances and stabilizes the pelvis, the spine, and everything else from there. So we got to build that strong foundation, right? So right foot forward, left foot back. It's not a super wide stance. More so, we're just looking to balance the pelvis. So imagine that here's your pelvic crest, here's your pelvic crest bones. You want those level. You don't want one forward and one back. So right foot forward, left foot back, toes are facing towards the wall. And then we want to engage the muscle through the bone. So I'm actually lifting this kneecap, coordinating the muscles of the thigh. So engage this kneecap, this tissue of the knee upwards. And then again, square that pelvis. It's square, but also top to bottom, right? You don't want one hip hiked up and one down. So square from top to bottom and front to back. And then we want to have our hands, our palms flat on the wall. So we're going to be pressing. Like such. And then you want those hands right out from those shoulders. So a line from the shoulder to the elbow to the wrist. And it's that equal pressure, hands against the wall, that you're going to start to make progress from the feet up to the up to the neck, up to the shoulders, all the way through the body, right? Because we want that feedback, toes spreading wide, mounds of the big toes pressing. So we want the feedback on the floor and on the wall, and then equal pressure in those wrists. And this front body is lifting. So you want to have an opening all along the front pelvis here. This area is hard to open. You want to get that opening circulating. That's a huge lymphatic dumping ground. And then this back leg, this left leg, you want to open the back thigh. So open the back thigh, outer hip rolls towards the front thigh rolls towards the inner groin rolls towards the back thigh. Put more pressure in your right hand, feel that feedback throughout your body. Put more pressure in your left hand, feel that feedback. And now go for that equal pressure. And it's as though you're pressing through the wall. Now we want to take this out of our low back. So you want those glute muscles to be grounding towards the floor. Left glute is chasing towards the left heel. Right glute is chasing towards the floor. So we want to find that length and extension. And this doesn't mean anything if we're not working the legs. So if the legs are bent, if we're not fully activating them, see, the bend is a blockage of energy. We're not going to get our full potential. We want that extension through the legs. So see if you can lengthen through the legs. And it feels like your legs are growing longer from the root of your legs, from those pelvic crests. And only when we lengthen those legs, again, keep descending the glutes through the floor, through the back heel. You're going to find an extra inch, 2 inch, 3 inches in the spine when you lengthen through those legs. And square your face parallel with the wall. Soften the throat. And now engage the muscle to the bone in your arms, especially that upper underarm, that area we sometimes just lose that communication, that connection to. So we want to rebuild that connection. It's a very, very important connection. And sometimes it takes a while to rebuild those neural pathways from the brain to the body. So engage, 360 degrees, muscle to the bone, engage the underarm, and it will feel as though you're pressing through the wall to find that engagement. And then heart lifting, center heart upwards and forwards at a 60-degree angle. Face parallel, chin parallel, face is neutral, chin slightly towards the heart, just ever so slightly. And then remember those inner shoulders. Innermost shoulder is reaching down the back towards the floor. So we can work through any part of the body here, right? If we've got a knee injury, we're working through those joints. We're making space. Spaciousness, getting that blood flow. And when we get that spaciousness in the knee joint, that blood flow, then the tissues can start to repair, regenerate. This one's amazing for the low back. And we're going to work that low back. We're going to find that length and that strength through the legs. Now just see how much of your body you can integrate and coordinate. Equal pressure in the hands. Lengthen through the floor, through your feet, through the wall. Roll that inner shoulder down and back. That's going to help you get more length in the neck, in the cervical vertebra. Extend and reach out the very center top of your head. Like your head is growing up towards the ceiling. Jaw soft, throat soft, spine long, spine engaged. Engage the muscle to the bone in your legs and your arms. And then again, can we square that pelvis a bit more? Glutes chasing to the floor, tailbone descending. Imagine that you have a 50-pound weight from your tailbone, the base of your spine, towards the floor. External rotation of your upper arms. External rotation. So if you need to grab the inside of your right arm with your left hand, roll outwards. Roll outwards. So this upper arm is rolling down and out. Grab the other side, do it equally. And you'll notice and feel an immediate shift in the shoulders, in the thoracic spine, in the cervical spine. And then again, the tendency is for these ribs to come forward, but then we lose our core. We lose that integrity of the spine. We lose that strength, that inner strength. So front ribs reaching back behind you. And then lengthening through the legs, lengthening through the spine, reaching through the center top of the head. And now we want to bring the front of the thigh to the back of the thigh. Engage the front of the thigh to the back of the thigh. Those legs are getting longer, those legs are getting longer, extending, lengthening, muscle to the bone, tailbone descending, inner shoulders reaching down and back. And if you're getting blood flow, circulation, tingling in new parts of the feet, the ankles, the calves, the knees, that's great. And then soften, release to come out. Feet together. Just take a strong Tadasana, which is the mountain pose. So we just want to stack your hips over your ankles.
Oh God, I'm sorry.
Hi. Hips over.
I'm sorry. I didn't know I wasn't muted. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay.
I was just making noises.
Don't worry. I got it. Okay, hips over the ankles, right? So usually we have some kind of lean. Hips over the ankles. It might feel hard to balance when you get those hips over the ankles. And then press through the mounds of the big toes. Spread the toes wide. Engage the inner heel as though you're pressing through the floor. Inner heel descending, reaching. That's going to support those arches. And then again, just square the pelvis. One leg might feel longer than the other after just doing one side. Good. And then switch. Left leg forward, right leg back. Those toes are going up the wall. Press, hands pressing. We got your wrist aligned with your shoulder. And again, we want to open the back of the thigh. We got to hydrate this back thigh. The hamstrings get dehydrated, twisted. We need to open that, release that, lengthen that hamstring. So open the back of the thigh, outer hip rolling towards the front of the thigh rolling towards the inner groin rolling towards the back thigh. And then again, we want to engage the muscle to the bone. So you're engaging the knee, the muscle, the tissue above the kneecap. Engage the muscle to the bone. We need to protect these knees, strengthen these knees. And then we want to take that out of the low back, draw that right glute muscle into the right heel. Release the left glute down. And then lengthen and release out the center top of the head. Heart lifting, ribs reaching, front ribs reaching to the back of the room. And external rotation of your arms. External rotation, that little self-adjustment makes all the difference in the neck and the shoulders. And then extend. See if you can get your legs working longer, extending through your legs. And again, engaging muscle to the bone, muscle to the bone, muscle to the bone. Strengthening, toning, circulating, opening up those knee joints. And grow taller, longer. So descend to ascend. And now the very southern tip of your scapula, the back of your shoulder blade, the southernmost tip, imagine that that is reaching through the wall, reaching through your hands. Good. Chest square. Chest square. It's okay if the pelvis isn't perfectly square. Chest square. And then lengthen the neck nice and long. Lengthen, reach, extend. Engage the muscle to the bone. Engage the muscle to the bone. Front of the thigh to the back of the thigh. Throat soft, face soft, spine lengthening, extending, growing longer. And then exhale, come on out. Come back to that Tadasana, center hip, center hip, balanced over the center ankle. Lengthen through the side waist. Center shoulder, aligned with the center ankle. Roll that inner shoulder down and back. That is how you access your true self. In Eastern psychology, they say your true self resides here, that center sternum. And it is a feeling state when you get to that heart open, that heart lifted, shoulders down and back. It's just an inner strength, it's an inner peace. Glutes chasing down towards the heels. Lengthen through the center top of the head, extend, reach. And how beautiful is that to access the intelligence of the body, to access the intelligence of the mind, right? Good work, everyone. Awesome. So we're going to work some more on lower back today. An area that I know anyone and everyone can use support in. So if you can find that wall space again, we're going to do legs up the wall, okay? So, ladies, if you're on your period, if you're on your moon, you're just going to be flat on the floor. If you're not, you're going to bring in either a bolster or a blanket. And you just want to leave enough gap that your butt can be in this space. Okay. Here's back so you can see best. Okay. So how we get in, again, whether you're flat on the floor or you're elevated, is you actually get on your side so that you're fully on that left hip, and then your two sit bones are already touching the wall. And then you roll your legs up. And then you're relaxing down, and you just have enough space again between the bolster and the wall for your booty to drop. Now, we want to roll that inner shoulder down and back. So this is preparation for shoulder balance, which is the queen of all poses. We're going to really prep for shoulder balance. We're going to prep the spine and the body. So armpit chest, this is the armpit chest. You can hook your thumbs right in the armpit chest to roll that armpit chest open. You're literally rolling the armpit up towards the top shoulders, down the back. And it's an actual wheel. So it's a continuous motion, meaning armpit chest is lifting up toward the top shoulders. Top shoulders are rolling down the back. Front chest lifting. Back of the back descending. Armpit chest lifting. Inner shoulders rolling down and back. So it's meant to be a continuous wheel. Palms can be extended outwards, reaching through the middle finger, fingertips, and align your center wrist with that center shoulder. Okay, good. So we want to start working with the intelligence of the legs, the intelligence of the spine, the intelligence of the organs. So first and foremost, work on the feet. Scrub your heels up towards the wall like you're walking on the ceiling. Soften the navel. The navel releases towards the spine. Soften the navel, release the navel towards the spine. It's like an inner cord from right below your belly button reaching towards the spine. And in order to access it, we have to access our inner groins. So that steel cable, the inner groin, that releases, that softens, that relaxes towards the wall. Back root of the thigh opens, outer hip rolls towards the front thigh. So go ahead, use your hands to sculpt that action. And it very much is the root of the thigh that we're turning, not the knee. The knee is not turning with it. Of course, it's equal opposing actions. It always feels impossible. So outer hip, grab that tissue, that flesh, roll it towards the inner groin. You'll feel an opening, a lengthening in the lower back. And now take the outer knee and draw it towards the wall. So it's like two opposing actions, inner groin releasing inwards, outer knee releasing outwards. Working with right leg first. Inner groin release, open the back of the thigh, outer hip rolling towards the front of the thigh rolling towards the inner groin. There's an activation that happens in the spine, a lengthening and a strengthening. Outer knee rolling towards the wall. Okay, those are just 2 points. Other side. Left hip, left outer hip rolling towards that inner groin. You're using your hands to sculpt the muscle, the tissue, the groin, literally the way the muscle adheres to the bone. And then you're engaging the front of the thigh to the back of the thigh. So you're restructuring that intelligence of the tissue, of the fascia, of the muscles, and the way that those muscles coordinate. And then those muscles, the way that they coordinate, that shapes the bone. And then that left outer knee is reaching towards the wall. So 2 opposing actions. Left knee extending towards that outer wall, inner groin extending towards the wall. Left outer knee, left inner groin, releasing towards the wall. And then engage the muscle to the bone and reach through those toe tips, all 10 toe tips. Reach through your inner heels, extending. Again, engage the muscle to the bone, the front of the thigh to the back of the thigh. So those legs are strong. The center ankle is aligned with the center pelvis, with the center belly button. And now we got to clean up the rest of the pose. So hands spread wide. Roll the inner shoulder down and back. Remember that wheel. Armpit, chest lifting, inner shoulder descending. Southern tips of those scapulas reaching towards the wall. Side waist lengthening. Now, how much of this can we coordinate at once? So center heart, center sternum is lifting up towards the chin. Open and broaden the barrel of the chest cavity. We want this to expand 4 times what it is currently to allow more breath, allow more life force in. So broaden across the rib cage. Press the back ribs into the cushion or into the floor. So you're broadening 360 degrees across the ribs, across the lungs. Press the mounds of the big toes up to the ceiling. And again, release just below the navel, just below the belly button, towards the spine, towards the floor. Find that full breath capacity. Slow your breath, breathing through, inhale and exhale through your nose. Sternum lifting through the chin. Front of the thigh engaging to the back of the thigh. You're working your legs 120%, 150%. And the legs begin to lengthen, extend, grow as you engage the front of the thigh to the back of the thigh. Navel towards the spine. Inner shoulder rolling down the back. Broaden wide through the fingertips. Reach your fingertips towards the edges of the room. Center chin aligned with center sternum. Now equal weight in that right shoulder and that left shoulder, and that right wrist and that left wrist. Pressing the fingertips into the floor. Again, palms are facing up to the ceiling. Now remember when we did that adjustment of the arms, getting the external rotation, so the inner arm is rolling towards the outer arm. Armpit chest lifting, finding that wheel. Inner shoulder descending, armpit chest lifting. It's so much to coordinate. So as we're finding that length and that extension through our legs, through our limbs, through our arms, muscle engaging to the bone, grow longer, feet expanding wide, palms expanding wide. And then soften the face, soften the brain, soften the nervous system, soften the organs, but do not lose the action of the muscle. So how can you coordinate and strengthen the legs, yet soften the organs, soften the nervous system, soften the skin? Engage the muscles, soften the skin. It is totally contradictory and totally possible. And then just see if you can take these final moments to find that center line. So engage your heels reaching up towards the ceiling. Roll the shoulders down and back the body. Center ankle. Release the two sit bones wide. Extend through the sit bones towards the wall. Center navel, center sternum, center chin. Southern tip of the scapulas reaching up towards the ceiling. Top of the shoulder rolling down the back towards the wall. Lower rib cage pressing into the floor, into the cushion. Equal pressure in those wrists. And again, navel softening, descending. Inhale, pause at the top of your breath, breathing through your nose. Expanding the rib capacity. Hold. Exhale through the nose. Keep the ribs expanded. Again, inhale to the top of your breath through your nose. Pause. Find that full expansion in your lungs and your ribs. Hold that expansion even as you exhale through your nose. Normal breathing. when you're ready, inhale to the top of your breath with your nose. Full expansion of your ribs and your lungs. Exhale. It will reset the diaphragm. Regular breathing. Good. Inhale. Keep going. Extend through those fingertips. Exhale. Keep the expansion of your chest, your ribs, your lungs. Exhale the air. And feel that diaphragm reset, reposition. There's a navel to the spine. There's an inner vacuum, which is the actual intelligence of our spine, our organs. That happens. Regular breathing. Keep that extension through your heels, reaching up to the ceiling, shoulders rolling down and back. Soften the jaw, soften the throat, soften the center brow. Inhale, full capacity of the lungs. Inhale, that center heart. Expanding the lungs, the ribs, the chest to the center chin. Pause. Exhale, don't lose that lift or that expansion. Legs extending longer. And keep working with finding that intelligence. Work on it on your own as well. This is such an important pose. Do it daily, 5 minutes a day. And then keeping that intelligence of the inner body, draw the bottoms of the feet together. Trying to be as close to that wall as possible. And then those heels drop down as close to the pelvis as possible. Inner groin, that steel cable releasing to the inner knee. Okay, so we're going to work on the intelligence of the hips now. So I want you to press the bottoms of the feet together. Bottoms of the feet pressing. Release the inner groin to the inner knee. Inner groin to the inner knee. Inner groin to the inner knee. And as you begin to open the front of the body, the inner groin, then you can start to contract and find the muscles of the hips. Inner groin releases wide, feet press, outer hips contract. Find those glutes, find those hips, find that toning. And again, it's actually happening through the release of the groin. So in order to contract and find the muscle in one area, we actually have to soften and let go in another area. Be sure that the center line of your heels is aligned with the center of your pelvis, your pubic bone, center navel, center heart, center chest, center chin, center forehead. Feet pressing, groins releasing, hips contracting, glutes toning and strengthening. And this is a beautiful opening in the pelvis, in the hips, supporting all of the reproductive organs. And there's a circulation, a softening of blood flow that happens throughout the pelvis, throughout those organs. And again, so important to do on a daily basis. is to soften the inner groin, soften the organs. And then again, we are toning, contracting the outer hips, the outer glutes. And it works together. Feet pressing, groins releasing, glutes toning. And let's find that breath again. Go ahead and take your arms and extend them to the top of the head so they're reaching towards the wall behind you. Grow that sideways long. Chin reaching towards the chest, chest reaching towards the chin. Broaden, lengthen through the rib cage. Groins rolling, releasing towards the wall. And groins releasing towards the inner knee. Palms are facing up. Extend through the pinkies, the ring finger, the middle finger, the pointer finger, and the thumbs. Broaden wide across the palms. And it's through the intelligence of the palms that we're going to get into the elbows and the shoulders. Face is soft, throat is soft. And again, 360-degree expansion in the lower rib cage, the mid rib cage, the upper shoulders. And the bottoms of the feet are opening. So the arches are releasing, opening. Chest lifting towards your chin, groins rolling towards the wall. And we're going to, again, inhale to the top of our breath through our nose. Fill the full lungs and ribs and pause. Chin towards the chest. Exhale, keep that expansion. Normal breathing, breathing through the nose. Groins releasing, feet pressing. Inhale, 360-degree breath. Chest to the chin, chin to the chest. Exhale. Normal breathing. Again, even as the air leaves the lungs, you keep that expansion of the rib cage of the lungs. So it's like a vase, the water leaves the vase, but the vase doesn't lose its structure. Your lungs, your rib cage are the vase. Chin to your chest, chest to your chin. As you're ready, inhale to the top of your breath. Exhale. Navel releases towards the head and towards the spine. Normal breathing. Exhale. So we just did really deep work in our groins and in our pelvis. So we don't want to re-grip that. So pretend that you don't have any use of your legs. Use your hands to do all of the work. Keep your legs soft, your groin soft. You're drawing your knees towards each other through your hands, feet flat on the wall, navel towards the spine. You're still getting that inner lift, that Uddiyana band. Mounds of big toes pressing, inner heels pressing. You can actually re-coordinate the lower back, the muscles, just through the pressure of your feet. So mounds of big toes pressing, inner heels pressing. Press towards the pinky toe. And imagine that your feet are reaching through the wall, but you're still getting that softening, relaxing of the navel to the spine. Soft jaw. Extend and lengthen through the top of the head. Release the lower rib towards the floor. Good. And then we're just gonna press with our feet to come off the back of the bolsters and coming out evenly. Feet can stay on the wall. And just feel that feedback in your body. Again, coming out evenly. Good. And then as you're ready, this is a good place to get feedback. So feel that pressure on the right side of the sacrum, the back of the pelvis, the left side of the sacrum. See if you can get equal weight on your pelvis, equal pressure in your feet. And if you can tune into that subtlety, I have more weight on the left side of my sacrum. So I'm going to lift that left side of the sacrum up towards the ceiling, which is naturally going to ground the right side of my sacrum. And then everything re-coordinates and repositions around that, right? The muscles adjust, the organs adjust. So working asymmetrically to find that symmetry. Navel to the spine, heart, sternum lifting towards the chin, chin towards the sternum. Pressure in the feet, equal pressure in the pelvis, lift away from the heavy pelvis. Exhale, roll on out. Okay. So any comfortable seated position. How's that feeling for everyone? Good work. Isn't it amazing how deep you can go just in one pose? Okay, so for those last little bit, we are going to continue to work towards that shoulder balance. Okay. So I'm going to demonstrate. Okay. So we want to grab a chair. And there's a few ways we can do this depending on what your needs are. And if you have a couple of blankets, you can grab them. So this is like shoulder balance position. And then you're going to fold it in half again. So it's long. And you always want a smooth edge of your blanket. So if you have yoga blankets, you just want to use them for yoga blankets because you don't want to lose that smooth edge. You're literally doing like surgery from the inside out. So these are like your surgery tools. You want them clean, you want them nice. So that smooth edge goes away from the chair. And actually, we're gonna, since a lot of us don't have, some of us don't have blankets, we're gonna skip the blankets today. But the purpose of it is to get the lift of the seventh cervical vertebra away from the floor. So normally your shoulders would go along here, a couple inches away from the top. I will demonstrate just so you can see what I'm talking about, the seventh cervical lift. And just so you know how to set up your props. So see how it's an accordion fold? The bottom blanket is out a little bit more than the top blanket. So I will demonstrate just so you can see this, but we're not going to work with the blankets yet today. But I want you to visually see where the shoulder gets its lift. So I would put the edge of my shoulders at the edge of the blanket. Again, we're not going to go in. And this is getting that seventh cervical vertebra lifting up towards the ceiling. So rolling, remember that wheel action? That was prep for this. And this is a great, and then the shoulders are opening. Okay. So if you have the blankets, you are welcome to use them. If not, we can work without them. Now here's two different ways we can do this. You're either going to work with the chair, or you can work with a block, or just raise your pelvis. So we'll start with the one. And again, you never want to turn your neck in this pose. So if you're just working feet flat, shoulders flat, watch me, shoulders are rolling down and back. Exhale, pressing down to the feet to lift the pelvis up. And then walking on the top shoulders. Fingers reaching towards the heels. This is position one. And then we'll roll the glutes towards the heels to get that heart open, knees together. So that's
Really, Coach Rita, really quick. Now, how are your legs on the chair?
Oh yeah, right now they're not on the chair yet.
Oh, okay.
This is just position one for those that are not ready to go on the chair.
Okay.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, good.
And then, so that's position one. Position two, you can use the support of a block. Again, you don't want your head turned. The block goes underneath. Block can go either direction. This supports and sets the sacrum, supports and sets the tailbone. Heart open, amazing, beautiful. That's position two. If you're using the chair, we have position three. So you want to make sure your chair doesn't move, correct? You don't want it slipping. Position three, just watch first. Bottom of the feet are on the chair. I'm going to lift, work symmetrically, pressing evenly, pressing evenly, pressing evenly, pressing evenly, walking the shoulders on the top, feet flat, fingertips reaching towards the heels, towards the wall. And then exhale, knees together to come down. So choose A, B, or C with the chair, with the block, or just feet flat on the floor. And I'll walk you through it. So lying flat on your back, palms facing up, feet on the floor or feet on the chair. Make sure the chair does not move. Exhale, raise your hips up towards the ceiling through the pressure of your feet, working evenly, symmetrically. Remember, do not turn your neck. Chin and sternum are aligned. Walk and roll onto the top of your shoulders. Equal pressure in your feet, equal pressure in your shoulders. This is one of my favorite poses. I forgot to mention, ladies, if you are on your period on your moon time, you don't want to do an inversion. So equal pressure in the feet. Glutes are toning. Sacrum is reaching up. And remember, just have that image of where I demonstrated the blankets. The seventh cervical vertebra, that's the back of the neck, the one that we usually can see. That is lifting up towards the ceiling. Rolling on the top shoulders. Throat is soft, face is soft, jaw is soft. Strong, sturdy pressure in the feet. So if you have the block, if you're using the block, it's positioned in the center of the sacrum and the tailbone. If you're flat on the floor, your feet are pressing downwards, your sacrum is reaching to the ceiling. If your legs are up on the chair, you just have equal pressure in your feet. And then when we come down, the knees come towards each other. And it's a very slow process. You're releasing the spine long. You're releasing the glutes towards the heels. Knees come together, heart opens. If you have the chair, relax the back of your calves on the top of the chair. If you're flat on the floor, your knees come together, your feet are flat. Again, you're scooping the buttocks away from the top of the head. And that's what opens the heart. Face soft, throat relaxed. Soften for a moment. And then again, either working from the floor, working with the block, or working with the chair. Feet are either flat on the chair or flat on the floor. Exhale, equal pressure into the feet to raise the hips upwards. Remember, do not turn your head, chin in alignment with your chest. Feet pressing into the floor or into the chair. If you have the block, you can turn it vertical or horizontal to balance the sacrum and the tailbone to set those. Glutes are chasing towards the heels. Both glutes are strongly activated. And you walk onto the top shoulders, lifting that seventh cervical vertebra away from the floor up towards the ceiling. Palms are facing the ceiling, wrists are flat, extending through your fingertips, engaging the muscle to the bone in your arms. Face soft, jaw soft, never turning the head. Chin towards your chest, chest towards your chin, lengthen in the side waists. You're going to be toning the muscles all around the sacrum. When you're ready, exhale, release, scoop the glutes away from the head, knees coming towards each other, glutes scooping, 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 scooping. Slow, 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 slow. That's what opens the heart and the chest. If your legs are on a chair, put the calves on the chair. If your feet are on the floor, draw your knees towards each other. Heart opening, heart opening. And final one. Equal pressure of the feet on the floor or the chair to draw the hips upwards. Press symmetrically, press evenly, work slowly, work intelligently. Equal pressure in your shoulders, hips rising. Extend through your pinky fingers. Roll onto the top shoulders, walk the shoulders. Inner shoulder reaching down the back, reaching towards the sacrum, tailbone reaching towards the knees. Jaw soft. Open the eyes. Forehead soft. And it's the equal pressure in the feet that resets the back, that resets the sacrum, that resets the glutes, that resets the pelvis. Throat is soft. Limbs are engaged. Glutes are so strong. Lengthen the spine long. Reach the tailbone towards the knees. Equal pressure in the shoulders. Get the lift in the seventh cervical vertebra away from the floor towards the ceiling. If you feel any shaking, breathe through it. Move to the other side of it. Again, equal pressure in the shoulders, equal pressure in the wrists and the arms. Exhale, scoop the glutes away from the back of the head. Knees slightly gently come towards each other. Work as slow and symmetrically as you can. Knees coming towards each other, glutes scooping away, lengthening the lower back. Heart opening, heart opening, heart opening, heart opening. Knees together or calves on the top of the chair. Relax here for a moment, release. This is our corpse pose today, the surrender, the let go. It's where the nervous system integrates everything you learned today, where it starts to become cellular at the body level. Jaw soft. Throat soft. Allow your body to melt like a stick of butter in the sunshine. It was snowing here this morning, but now the birds are chirping outside. Imagine that sunshine just melting you, softening your body. Imagine your side temples are opening like horses' eyes. Throat softens. Allow that breath to move through your entire body. It's intelligence moving through your entire body. Like a stream flowing through your entire body. Use that breath to awaken and make connection to every part of your body. From the top of the head to the center of the head, the throat, the shoulders, the arms, the elbows, the wrists, the fingertips, the center of the spine, center heart, center rib cage, organs, belly, front of the belly, back of the spine, sacrum, hips, pubic bone, roots of the thighs, backs of the thighs, fronts of the knees, backs of the knees, fronts of the shins, calves, ankles, top of the feet, bottom of the feet, toe tips. Use that breath to map your entire body. And then exhale, knees to the chest. Exhale, roll on out to your right side. Coming to seated, any comfortable position. We are a couple minutes past the top of the hour.
Coach Rita, did you say it was snowing this morning?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I thought I heard you say.
Yeah, I'm in Colorado. We need it so bad. It looks like June right now, with as little as snow as we've had this year.
Well, I know you're gonna ask us, so I'll go ahead since I'm unmuted. But this, I don't know if you had this particular workout for us today or exercise for us, but it was like right on point. I really needed this, so I can't really wait for the replay. I like this. I can feel that it helped today. So thank you so much.
Yeah, you're so welcome. Yeah, definitely great for the lower back. So perfect. Good work today, everyone. Thanks for being here. Yeah, normally when you look from the peaks around here, normally it's covered in snow and it's just bare. So we need it this year.
How late does it usually snow there?
It
April?
Yeah, I mean it depends, like way up high. We're not like in the the super high elevation, but up in elevation, I mean, it would still snow in like July sometimes, right? It's crazy. But yeah, that's like up more at 9,000 feet. We're
Wow.
uh, closer to 6 here. So here it gets it's different.
Wow. That was awesome. That was very challenging, especially the latter part of the class.
Mm-hmm.
But I did what I could,
Mm-hmm.
and I could really feel the changes. I mean, I don't know, it was just different. It was different. You seem to always figure out how to find some new areas or new muscles or something. So I was like,
How was that on your shoulders, Karen?
that I didn't do too much of that, but that was, I could feel that if I could, I mean, you just look so beautiful in your poses. I mean, if I could just do it like that, but what I did do, it felt good. And
Mm,
I really want to work on getting better with that because I could feel that I'm doing the practice and it's working.
yeah.
Whatever's supposed to be doing, it's working. I could feel it, even though it was challenging.
Yeah, that's your pose for sure.
Mm.
Just slowly working up to it.
Coach Rita, really quick, when we have the bolster, when
Mhm.
we're putting our glutes on the wall before we put our legs up,
Yep.
once we get our legs up with the space in between us, are our legs supposed to be flat on the wall? Because that's what I was having trouble, like getting my legs flat with the space, with also being on the bolster.
Right. You're just trying to have the sit bones touching the wall as close to the wall as possible. The legs are going to be bent or straight, just depending on the flexibility, and you'll work there. You'll get there. So straightness of the legs, it just comes over time, but just try and get those sit bones touching.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Good questions. Awesome, y'all. Well, love you all. I hope you have.
Love you guys too. Thank you so
Love
much,
you.
Rita.
Have
See
a
you,
great weekend, Melody,
Melody.
Aaron, Coach Rita.
See, yep, y'all be
Love you.
blessed.
Love
Mwah.
you all.
Love you guys too.
Bye.
Take care now. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.